My mother-in-law sued me for emotional damages after I missed her birthday party. The judge asked her one question that made her lawyer pack up and leave. The lawsuit papers arrived while I was cleaning out my son's backpack. $75,000 for severe emotional distress and deliberate familial sabotage. My mother-in-law Diane had actually done it. She'd sued me for missing her 60th birthday party. I sat at my kitchen table reading through pages of legal nonsense about how I'd maliciously and with premeditation destroyed her milestone celebration. How my absence had caused irreparable harm to family cohesion. The lawyer she'd hired had really stretched for this one. My husband Paul found me there an hour later, still reading. "She's lost her mind," he said, scanning the papers. "We'll fight this. It's ridiculous." But I just smiled. No, let her have her day in court. 3 months earlier, Diane had planned her party like a royal coronation, rented out the country club, hired a string quartet, and sent engraved invitations to 200 people. She'd assigned everyone roles. Paul would give the toast. Her daughter Melanie would present the slideshow. I was designated the cake bearer, responsible for the grand entrance with her custom 5-tier monstrosity. The morning of the party, my son Theo woke up seizing. Not the first time, he has epilepsy, but this one wouldn't stop. By the time the ambulance arrived, he'd been seizing for 12 minutes. At the hospital, they pumped him full of medications that made him hallucinate. He kept crying that spiders were under his skin. I texted Paul from the emergency room. He came immediately, but left after 2 hours. "Mom's having a breakdown about the cake. Can you call your sister to pick it up? Our son is in the ICU." "I know, but it's her 60th. This has been planned for months." He actually left, went to the party, posted pictures on Facebook of him smiling next to his mother while our son fought to breathe normally. Melanie came by the hospital briefly, just long enough to tell me I was selfish for making everything about myself. Theo stabilized after 18 hours. When we got home, Paul was in the guest room. Diane had convinced him I'd deliberately sabotaged her day, that I'd been looking for any excuse because I was jealous of their close relationship. The epilepsy was just convenient timing. She started her campaign immediately. Family emails about my pattern of disrespect. Facebook posts about daughters-in-law who weaponized children. She told everyone at her book club that I'd probably triggered Theo's seizure myself with stress, just to hurt her. Then came the lawsuit. The court date arrived in October. Diane showed up in a St. John suit with her lawyer, a sharp-dressed man who looked like he usually handled corporate mergers, not family drama. She'd brought a binder of evidence, screenshots of texts where I'd seemed reluctant about party planning, photos from other family events I'd missed while working or with sick Theo, a whole timeline of my supposed crimes against her. The judge, an older woman with tired eyes, listened to Diane's lawyer present for 20 minutes. How I destroyed a milestone birthday, how the emotional damage was quantifiable in the therapy bills Diane had accrued. This was about holding family members accountable for their cruelty. Then the judge turned to me. I'd represented myself and couldn't afford a lawyer after Theo's medical bills. "Your response?" I pulled out my folder. Hospital records. Every single one. Not just from the birthday seizure, but from the past 5 years. Every time Diane had called Theo's epilepsy attention-seeking behavior. Every family event where she'd refused to learn how to use his emergency medication. The Christmas when she'd hidden his medical alert bracelet because it clashed with the family photos. But the crown jewel was a series of emails between Diane and Paul from 2 years ago, when she tried to convince him that Theo's neurologist was overdiagnosing and that we should try essential oils instead. She'd written, word for word, maybe if something serious actually happened, she'd stop using that child as an excuse to avoid family obligations. The judge read quietly. Then she looked up at Diane. "Mrs. Garcia, one question. In your submitted evidence, you included your medical bills from therapy, but I noticed your first therapy appointment was 2 days before your birthday party. Can you explain what emotional distress you were seeking treatment for before the alleged incident?" Diane's mouth opened, closed. Her lawyer shuffled papers frantically. "Your Honor, that's not relevant. I'll decide what's relevant." "Mrs. Garcia," Diane's voice cracked. "I was stressed about party planning. So you were seeing a therapist about party stress, but you're suing your daughter-in-law for missing the party due to a medical emergency?" The lawyer was already packing his briefcase. He knew a lost cause when he saw one. The case was dismissed with prejudice. Diane was ordered to pay my court costs. Paul moved back in with his mother last month. The divorce papers are filed. Theo and I are doing fine. He hasn't had a seizure in 67 days, and there's no one around to call it attention-seeking anymore.